Right then, as we said, the first thing we're going to look at is setup, yeah? Now, you said at the start of the session you've been trying to get that lowercase y. You basically got it in reverse. Now, whether or not you've been doing it in front of a mirror, possibly, and you just sort of said, oh, that's a lowercase y in a mirror.
Yes.
That's maybe where you got kind of like maybe confused with that, possibly, okay? Yeah. What we're looking for is that.
Got it.
So from a visual perspective, as you look down, your hands are effectively over your foot. They're not over your foot, but they'll look that way because obviously your head's being behind your hands from the angles that we create, okay? So based on that position now, you've got a chance of striking the ball and the ground where that blue line is. If your hands are back here, you're doing a number of things that are going to affect your golf in a negative way. You're adding too much loft. That's going to weaken the shot. Having the hands back here is going to weaken off the grip. That's going to open the club face. That's going to incorporate slices and even more loft. So now you're hitting even weaker and losing more distance and potentially slicing it, yeah?
Yeah.
Also, you're going to potentially hit the ground behind the golf ball. That's going to weaken the shot again. So you've got loads of things now just killing your distance. And then the harder you try to hit it from that position, the more you're just going to try and bury the club in the ground. And it's going to get worse.
You didn't see me out there this morning, then?
I was watching from there yesterday. No, I did not leave the house. I was literally stuck indoors all day, yeah. I was not getting out of there, yeah. Okay. But you can see, and the interesting thing was, the second you hit that first shot, you went, I feel stronger. Yeah? You haven't become stronger. No. You're now using effectively 100% of strength on this one here now, whereas this one on here, you might be using 50% at best. Yeah? So all that effort you can put into a golf ball, the ball knows none of it, yeah? All that, and again, you get more fatigued because you're using more effort to try and hit the blooming ball, yeah? So regards the short game that we'll look at now, there is your full setup, full stance, okay? Roughly shoulder width apart, which kind of stays fairly constant throughout most of your long game, okay? If you're doing a short game shot, your left foot now will stay the same, but your right foot now is going to come in here. Now, if we think, okay, well, if your right foot is on that sort of red line, the ball position is more towards the back. So you brought your right foot in, which now, if this sort of mark on the ground represents the ball position, from here now you would say, well, it's just left of centre, yeah? Sort of my sternum's here, it's just left of that. Now it's right of it. I'm not going here and moving myself over here, but still keeping the hands back. You be chipping with it kind of back here. No, you might get an all right shot from there, but it's going to make it very difficult for you to control your body and move your body. It's going to get quite wristy, I would imagine. I'll have a look in a second and see what it looks like, but there's probably going to be a bit of wrist in there, which again makes contact very difficult. Okay, does that make sense from the long game perspective?
Does, yes.
Excellent, good.